Hey y'all. So I called myself gonna do a video. I had the best of intentions. And now I realize, well, if you saw the last video, then you know. I realized that I couldn't do one video about it because I'd be on here forever. So instead, I've decided to do another series. Now, let me just say, Empowering Encounters is not done yet. As it comes to my head, these different people who have been so, impactful, I'll have to talk about them too. So that's one series. But this one is some of my favorite places. So the last one I kind of talked about the Americas. I talked about my favorite place in the US, which is New York. Yes, it's the home city, but it's just got like everything, right? So and but I did give a little shout out to Seattle because I think Seattle is fabulous. But there's places I still haven't been in the US that I still might want to see. So I'll get to those. Excuse me. I'm recovering. Novid had no business doing me dirty like it did. Yes. So onward and upward. So in my last video, I was talking about the Americas and I said how Barbados is like my favorite place in the Caribbean. Although now that I think about it, I feel like Turks and Caicos, like the beauty of the water and such, is coming up. It's like making me feel a certain kind of way, but I don't know yet, so we'll have to see. I'm just gonna put that out there. Things can change. Look at the cough, got my little tear flowing. But um, I mentioned Canada, and I said I haven't been in enough places in Mexico to really give a good. So right now, Caribbean, Barbados, and I guess South America, Central America. Right now, my favorite is Ecuador, and in the States, New York. So, you know, okay. But anywho, anyhow, this isn't about that. If it's your first time here, I just want to say welcome. I'm so glad that you decided to join us. This is a place of community. This is Wonderfully Me, where I am sharing tidbits, little stories, little morsels, boop, boop, about my travel experiences in more than 50 countries and over the last 15, 20 years. Okay. And you are more than welcome here. That's what I want to say. If you are returning, I want to say welcome back, family. You know I missed you. I always miss you, even if it was just a day. I miss you. I'm so glad that you're here. Okay, but you know what? My mother always says it's really good to have people happy to see you coming and sad to see you going. Okay, so this is what I'm hoping is going on with us. We're happy to see each other and then sad when we don't. You know, when it's time to leave, yeah, the departure part, yeah. So that's what I'm hoping. And if we haven't gotten to that place yet, will we tight like that? Let's get tight, okay? Whew, yes. So, getting back to the topic at hand, I want to talk about Europe because Europe was the place where I decided to go when I was having this sort of existential crisis, right? Who am I? Where am I? What do I fit in life? Blah, 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 right? So I had these horrible things happen and I had this health crisis happen and all of these things. And I had decided that I was going to go to Europe. And my first stop was Portugal. So Portugal has a very near and dear place in my heart because that was the main focus of that trip. So I was traveling for 2 months that time. That believe that was in 2012. And I had taken a sabbatical from work, and I basically did this whole travel thing, right? So, yeah, Portugal, I spent a whole month there, and I have discussed in previous video about how great I think Portugal is. Um, and then the other month I spent in other places. And then in subsequent trips to Europe, I also visited a number of places. So now for me to try to decide, to determine what are my favorite places I visited in Europe. Okay, so let me say this. It's not that I don't like Europe, because I do. I do. And it's not that I didn't have good experiences in Europe, because I did. I met some wonderful people. Um, and I also had like a really serious thing happen to me, which I will get into. I've been alluding to it in other videos, and I will tell it. It is not a happy story. Oh well, yeah, I guess it's the blessing and the curse. It's kind of that kind of thing. It's that kind of story. So, so some eventful things happened while visiting Europe. So I will get into those. But favorite places. It's a little difficult. Like for example, I enjoyed when I went to Croatia. I enjoyed it. And this is gonna sound a little funny, but I really love the fact that there was so many tall men there. Listen, as a tall woman, I have always said that the world is a wonderful place for a short woman and a tall man. Okay, I'm neither. I'm a tall woman. Okay, and so when you go someplace and you see guys that's like your height and way taller, it's like, hey. So yes, I did love Croatia for that. I did love the food. The food was very fresh. Um, I did love being by the sea when I was there, but the beaches are rocky. They're not sandy beaches. And I'm not saying that there's not a sand beach somewhere in Croatia. I just didn't experience it, so I can't speak about it. But I enjoyed Croatia. I enjoyed going to Spain. I've been to several different places in Spain. I still haven't been to Madrid. It's on the list, but I loved Barcelona. Loved Barcelona. It's a lot of history. A lot of it not so great, not so nice. But I loved Barcelona. Also beaches, and the food is phenomenal. Right? I went to Seville. Sevilla, and I loved there. And I was also in a couple of the small little towns while I was in Spain. So um, yeah, I love Spain, and I would have probably said that Italy was one of my favorites because I went to multiple places in Italy. I was kind of all over the place in Italy, and I enjoyed it, and I met you know wonderful people. But just as a whole, I didn't really love it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I know that. I think I talked about the pickpockets in Milan and in Rome, and yeah, I mean, there's a. Don't get me wrong. There's good and bad everywhere. That really isn't the thing. But I didn't have like um moments that were more than touristy. I think even though I typically try to have these experiences that aren't so much touristy, I think that when I was in Europe, it was pretty much that. I didn't get a chance to like meet families and I didn't. So, it was just kind of fell flat. So the only real non-touristy experience I had in 1 second that I had in Europe was my time in Finland. Whew, and I am going to need. I don't believe I've done anything on Finland yet, but ooh, the names were changed to protect the innocent. That's all I'm gonna have to say. I'm gonna have to change them names. I did enjoy because I was off the beaten path in Finland. You know, I got to participate in a boot throwing contest when I was there for the Midsummer Nights party that lasted several days. I had a very unique experience. That's all I'm gonna say. Very unique experience. But I went to some wonderful, wonderful little towns and like little inlets, and it was I can't say anything but good things about Finland, really. Well, yeah. I mean, it was good. It was good. I'm gonna have to dig out some of these photos. I'm very sad. Again, I'm gonna have to mention this that a lot of my older photos were on my iPad, and I don't remember the password. So the iPad it won't charge, so I can't get it off the iPad. And then I know that I had to have some kind of an iCloud account or some sort, right? I don't remember the Apple ID. It was a long time ago. I have fibrofog. So, yeah. So there's that. So I'm just going to say overall that Europe was a great experience. Portugal, my time in Portugal stands out the most because I spent the most time there. And I was able to make friends there, some who were Portuguese and some who were not. Um, yes, I'm gonna do an empowering encounter with about a guy who I met, who I'm gonna try to message him first because I would like to tell you his name because I know that you could look him up and find him because he's a musician and yeah, a good guy. Yeah, I was just in love. I was in love. He's everything. Yes. But anyway, so I'm gonna say if I have to like narrow it down, I'm gonna say my favorite places in Europe were Portugal and Finland. Portugal and Finland. That's not to say that I didn't enjoy myself in other places because I did. And I absolutely am. I haven't been as many places in Germany as I'd like to visit, but Germany is coming up real quick because when I go there, I'm visiting friends and I'm staying in a village, So, well, is it really I guess the neighborhood is like a village area, and then there's the bigger town. I don't know if we call it a city. I'm not sure. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. Is Augsburg a city? I don't know. It could be. Maybe it's a city. But anyway, so Germany is really coming up in the ranks. It's coming up pretty fast. Um, but yeah, I don't have as many stories to tell. Well, if I couldn't tell a story about my first time in Germany, I got there around my birthday, which is 2 weeks before Christmas, and I was amazed to find that the cookie game in Germany is no joke. They believe in Christmas cookies. They believe in Christmas cookies, and it's like every social event you go to somebody's house is like they break out the Christmas cookies, like, and you just are eating cookies for weeks, cookies, and cookies and coffee or tea or whatever. Cookies. I just was like, my word, like they serious about their cookie, and they typically, I mean, some people buy them. I'm sure some people, not everybody has time, but my very good friend, she bakes like I don't know, like 50 different kinds, like for the holiday. I mean, when my first experience there, I was taken on a cookie tour, and I was like, a cookie tour, and it was my friend showing me all of these cookies that his mom, my other friend, had made. So I got to sample all of these different kinds of cookies. They're different shapes and different flavors, and yeah, very, very, very interesting. Very interesting. The cookie game is tight in Germany. I don't know if anybody else can compete, but the cookie game is tight. And the bread thing. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. A lot of people expect that I'll say like that, my favorite place in Europe was like Paris or something. Not at all. Not at all. I mean, they say that New Yorkers are rude. Please hear me now and believe me later. Parisians have that all to themselves. Not the nicest. Not the nicest. And even if you meet nice people while you're in Paris, they're not from there. Mm-mm, they're not. They're not. Yeah. So, getting back to my story, my Germany story. So the first time I was there was like right before Christmas, and this was my first experience with picking out a tree for Christmas. Never did it. We always had a fake tree. We always had a fake tree that we put up every year, right? We had a fake tree, so I didn't know anything about this. So actually went out there to the tree farm and chose the tree, and we had the uh hot chocolate. Was it hot chocolate or hot cider we had? And I think it was hot chocolate, and we had some kind of they do some kind of bread thing, and you put it in the fire. I'm gonna have to try to now. Those photos I should be able to find. I'm gonna put them on the community tab. I feel like I've been saying I'm gonna put some stuff on the community tab, and I haven't done it. Please forgive me. It is not because I don't want to. It is not because it didn't happen. These are real events, but I was sick. Novid had me down for a bit, and so I just was not on top of things. But I'm on the comeback trail. I'm on the comeback trail. So we I got to yeah, I can't remember. I feel like it was some kind of bread or something that was kind of wrapped around a stick, and you put it over the fire and you kind of baked it. This is am I crazy? I'm trying to remember. Am I crazy? Well, anywho, that was my first time in Germany, and it was a beautiful winter wonderland. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. My first Christmas in Germany. I really enjoyed it. It was wonderful picking out the tree. In subsequent trips, because it wasn't that one. I don't think it was that one. Was it that one? I can't. It's terrible, but because I've been a couple of times, but maybe it was that one. The family, that my friends, they have a tradition of always going to Austria, which is Bavaria. That region of Germany is very close to the Austrian border, and they have a tradition of going to Austria right after the New Year to go skiing. And I went with them. No, I didn't ski. I was up in the lodge, watching. I was not skiing. I was not skiing. But we had lots of snow fun, lots of frolicking. It was a lot of snow fun. And it was beautiful, And the only thing that I could relate that kind of that picturesque view of in Austria was like, when you watch some of these old classic movies, with like Shirley Temple, and she was like in somewhere in anyway. I digress. But it was beautiful. But I want to get back to say this about Germany and the bread in Germany. Somebody told me, well, I think it was the same friend, B. B said Germany had the best bread, and I was like, I don't know about that, because I was in Paris and I had the baguette is like to die for, which it is. No, no, no cap. It's to die for. But overall, the bread game in like That part of Germany and like Bavaria and Austria, the bread game is tight. So many different varieties. So good, so good, so good. So I ate really well while I was there. I who knew I enjoyed German food. You know, I ate all the schnitzel and what is that stuff called? Oh, dump dump noodle, dump noodle, dump noodle. I want to say, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to write stuff down. I'm gonna have to write the names of foods and stuff down because I don't recall everything, but I had some really good food when I was in Germany. So Germany is definitely coming up like in the ranks just because of the fact that I'm spending more time, have had the opportunity to spend more time there, and I have close connections there in community. So I get to, enjoy that. So if I gotta say, um, you know, Finland, you might be out of the running, even though I thought Finland was beautiful. Oh, remarkable. Like I had no idea what to expect, you know. You're taking a ferry like almost everywhere you're going to get from one place to the next because, you know, it's an archipelago, right? So it's just, I hope I'm using the right terms because sometimes it sounds right in my head and then I question, is that right? But I think it's an archipelago. Yeah. So yeah, I guess my, I think I'm gonna just say it. My favorite place is Portugal. Second favorite is Germany, and then there's Finland. I had a phenomenal experience that has to be a whole story. A whole story. All these places have to be a whole story. Um, but yeah, because I continue to make memories there, I think that yeah, maybe Germany does have to take the second spot. Like it just is what it is. So, as I like to do, I'd like to say the business of YouTube requires that I say this because I gotta get some more people in here. I need you. I want you to be there for me in the way that I need. So, like this video, watch it to the end, share it with someone. Please do. And I will post those pictures. I promise. I promise I will post the pictures. Yes. And comment below because I forget stuff and I digress and that's me. I think that's just my style. Please feel it, love it, get in tune with it because this is the road we on together. Okay. And by all means subscribe. Okay. Yes. And I would be remiss if I didn't say do good and be better. Be a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday, and an even better version of yourself tomorrow. This is essential. Growth is required. Okay? This is the reason we are here. I want you to know that. This is the reason we're here. So that we can be better versions of ourselves. Learn something. Do better. Do good. You know, be about more than just your own self, your own story, your own thing. Okay? Like, have a legacy that follows you, you know, that when you're gone, people can say, that's so and so. Oh, always reminded me this, always was like giving me good encouragement, making me feel better, motivated me, inspired me, helped me to see things that I couldn't see on my own. Be that person. Okay? All right. Now we're through that part. And I'm gonna say it again. It If you ever doubt it, don't. It means the world to me that I get to share my world with you. Having traveled to all these places and met all these people, it has been wonderful, absolutely wonderful. But it would be for naught if I didn't share it. It's important to be able to share these experiences with others Said they'll be encouraged to follow their dreams, whatever that dream is. My dream, my thing is travel. My thing is helping people, right? That's my thing. But everybody has their own thing. And this is about you figuring out what your own thing is. And hopefully, finding a little bit of humor in some of the things that I'm saying. That's it. Okay? So, until the next time, ciao for now.